the amazing broadcast Blessed, and we are going to be talking about how saying yes to everything your heart desires is going to lead you to the love of your life. Come and join us.
Welcome to the Blessed Podcast. I'm your host, Raquel. This podcast is to help you experience being blessed that transcends a mere hashtag. Let me add my disclaimer. I'm not a preacher, prophet, or Bible scholar, but I am a God-worshiping, Jesus-loving, Bible-believing, New Thought Christian who believes that God blesses us according to our faith and how we work his principles. So if you're ready to be encouraged and enlightened and entertained, then you are in the right place. I'm broadcasting on WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network, a nonprofit charitable radio broadcast with a mission to empower, encourage, and educate. Donations are always welcome to help further our mission. You can donate at www.wytv7.org. Today is a special edition of Blessed. This is on Valentine's Day. I just had so much love to talk about. We needed an extra day in this month. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest for today. I'm so excited, y'all. Her name is Dr. Aisha Roberts. I think, right? Or do you use it's two names?
Adams Roberts, yes.
Adams Roberts, right. Okay. She is a real doctor. She has a PhD from the Pennsylvania State University. And she is the creator of the Be Found dating methodology, which empowers women with tools to navigate the modern dating world of online dating, swiping, texting, and ghosting so that they can create healthy, sustainable relationships. Let me just tell y'all, she's special now. I'm feeling real good today because she is a sought-after speaker. She's been featured on Lifetime TV, owns Black Love docuseries, the Aspire TV, the Chicago Tribune, Madame Noir, the Game Show Network, MELD, The Great Love Debate, and BlackMarriedWithKids.com. And the reason why we gonna listen to her, not only because she has a PhD and she's been on all those things, but she is married, y'all. She not like me, unmarried, trying to tell you how to live your life as a, she really married and she been through this, so she know what she's doing. Thank you, Dr. Aisha, for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this experience we're about to create for your listeners. So let's get into it.
Yes. So the reason why I asked Dr. Aisha to be our guest is because I went online for her because y'all know I'm single. I just turned 50. I'm trying to, get some stuff going on with my life. But I saw on her website, she posted an article about Pastor John Gray's 2016 sermon to single women that R&B superstar Sierra posted. And it spoke about the spirit of girlfriend. And when I saw this one statement you said, I was like, I knew you were my girl. It says, his spirit of girlfriend was the church-approved way of saying you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I say, yes, she got it. So let's just break this down. Let me tell you, look. Yeah. I got it highlighted out. I got my papers. I got it highlighted because, girl, you were speaking some truth. So let's just start talking about what his message, how you responded to his message, basically saying, using the scripture, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And he was basically saying that you have to be a wife when your mate finds you, or when a man finds you, you have to already be a wife.
Yes.
Speak on it, girl.
I think that scripture, though well-intentioned, used by preachers and mothers and, Sunday school teachers and any place from the pulpit to the pews, mm-hmm. It's well-intentioned, but it is not applicable to dating, right? I mean, if we were to really go back to the context, the historical context of that scripture and the way that people found wives and they made it and they got married back in the day, it has nothing to do with what we do now, because it was arranged marriages. Right. So when, someone saw you across the pond, or, you at like Rebecca and you watering the camels or something, they're like, oh, that's my wife.
Right.
And then they would go present your father with some goats and some jewels, and say, can I have her? So that's a completely different experience than we have today. So to have an expectation that somehow a woman who is not a wife, she's not a wife legally, she's not a wife because she took a covenant with anyone, but that she's supposed to somehow carry herself in a way that she's already, betrothed to someone, puts so much unrealistic expectations on women, and it leaves men with a lack of accountability for how they approach women, how they court women, what they do to women, right? It puts all of the burden on a woman, like, oh, well, the reason why he didn't choose you as a wife, because you weren't a wife. Well, no, he didn't ask me to be a wife. So why should I be behaving as a wife? So I think that we've been applying that in ways that actually make it harder for people to enter into relationships that could lead to marriage.
Look, you are speaking my language. I'm loving you right now. Let me tell you, I wrote an article for Living Day by Day magazine. And the article, the title was, Are Religious Beliefs Keeping African American Women Single? Now, I'm one of the ones, I love the church. I'm all up in the church, but I'm going to call the church on their stuff. And that scripture is one of the ones. Now, John Gray talked about, when he said who finds a wife, he emphasized a wife. Right. I'm always hearing when it was taught to us, especially as single, he who finds is the emphasized, which means I can't ask no man that I don't know date. I shouldn't be online looking for nothing. Like I can't do none of that stuff. And it's be ingrained in your head. Like, oh, no. A man has to approach me. I can't say hello. I can't ask a man out. And let me get the other one. Do not be unequally yoked together. Oh my God. But now wait a minute. The scripture says unequally yoked together with unbelievers. But the church done taught us that means Christian. Yeah. Now, like Christians are only believers of God. Okay. Church attendance. Yeah. And even education. And girl, I got 3 degrees. Okay. I got a JD, a MS in counseling. I got a form. If I'm really waiting for a man to match my level of degrees, I ain't never gonna get an MRS. Right. That's why those are some of the things, and it's probably some other stuff. I don't even want to talk about sex. Ooh, that'll have to be for a whole nother thing. But just those scriptures, like we get ingrained with those doctrines and those beliefs, and we still single and we be wondering why.
Exactly. And I think it's important that you use that word, because women have been indoctrinated into that. And it has been set forth as some type of doctrine that is going to keep you in or out of heaven, when that's not true. It's nothing at all. It has nothing to do with that. And so what ends up happening, I know some women who are listening, some of them are like saying, yes, and amen, and finally somebody telling the truth. But there are others who are feeling uncomfortable. And it's not because, you don't have a measure of like resonance with what we're saying. It has to do with your legacy of belief, because we are not just stepping on your toes or John Gray's toes. We're stepping on Big Mama's toes and Deacon Smith's toes and Bishop Bullwinkle's toes. Like you've inherited this, right? These beliefs. And so it feels like if I'm to believe something else, or if I'm to embrace freedom that God has given me, to live my life, now I'm violating and disrespecting and possibly could be abandoned by all those people. And so it feels so uncomfortable to have this conversation. But the question I want to ask you is, do those beliefs serve you? When you also look at, the Bible says he will give you the desires of your heart, and your heart desires companionship, partnership, love, bliss, freedom. And if holding on to this legacy of belief causes you to miss out on what God said that you can have, you need to start to sit with those beliefs and say, okay, which of these can I say yes to? Which do I say you know what? It might not be serving me. It might have met the needs of people in 1942, but this is 2020 and it's just not working. It's not working.
Right. You know, letting go of beliefs, that is huge. And you talked about that in your article, the beliefs that people need to let go. I'll read a couple and then to jog your mind, because I'm like, you write all kind of stuff. You're like, right. A lot of stuff. So you said you may need to unlearn some things, such as the belief that there is a such thing as wife material. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Yes. So I believe people use that wife material in another controlling way. Whereas like a wife material, she has to be submissive, meaning she just agrees with everything. You know, she doesn't have a voice. She doesn't see herself as a leader in the home, as an influencer in her home, as an equal partner in the home in terms of decisions that are being made. She needs to be cooking and cleaning and fixing a plate, right? Like she has to devote herself, her life, her needs now. And she's willing to drop everything and sacrifice even her health and her wealth and her happiness. And that's somehow what makes you a wife material. When in reality, some men want that, and God bless them. That's what they want. I'm sure they can find a sister who's going to do it. But there are some men who do not want that. Like I've heard from many.
Praise God for them.
Yes. I've heard some of them are like, I want a woman who knows how to hold her own. I want to build something together with her. I want her to speak up and tell me her feelings. Like, and so when we have this belief that it must not be happening to me because I'm not wife material, and that means I'm not these 5 things, you know, that somebody has taught me, then, you know, I'm going to miss out. I'm not good enough. You know, I've got to work on myself more. And none of that is real. None of that is true. It's somebody's belief that you're borrowing and you need to give it back.
Yeah, all of that. Because I know, if I'm honest, a lot of those things really resonate with me, because I'm like, I don't cook. I can make a mean salad. I mean, I know how to order takeout.
Okay, I can get you fed.
I can get you fed. But especially when I just stopped working as a pharmacist, I was bringing home $130,000 a year.
Right.
I had to cook too. Hey. And I think I'm a great mom. My child got a master's degree, so I done put the work in that too. But it's like, really, I got to cook. I can't hire people to do that stuff.
Exactly.
I don't want to get too much into me. Let me go to your next point. Okay, it says, so we may need to change the belief that the dating process of going from attraction to girlfriend to fiance to wife is wrong. Or that getting the ring is a reward for being a quality woman. I think you probably spoke on a quality woman, but talk about that whole process. Because I remember in John Gray's sermon, he was like, you're supposed to go straight to being a wife. It's not to, that process, but that process is an important process.
It's very important. I tell all of the women I work with, and I'm going to share this with you, that the number one purpose of dating is not to meet the one. So for those, women who show up on the first date or the first text and like, oh my goodness, he could be the one. He checks off everything. He could be my future husband. And you start going all the way into the future.
Right.
You don't even know this person yet. You don't even know if you really like this person yet, but you go into that space. It's not to try to meet the one. It is to read men correctly. And what you're reading for is their character. You're looking for their lifestyle. You're looking to see how they handle problems. Do they have accountability and integrity? And so the dating process is so necessary. It is a personal growth process. And if you understand that, then you'll understand there are stages to this process, that you don't have to get too emotionally involved in the beginning and attached, and then you're devastated, if things don't work out or he disappoints you. Instead, you're like, okay, I am not just looking to be chosen, but I am also the choosing. Yes. Which flips the script right on he that findeth, as though I need to be picked. Take that pick me stuff off. I'm also choosing because I need to make sure this is the right person, right? And it's a major decision in my life. And so I need to go through this process with discernment, with an open heart, enjoying the experience, but also ready to walk away if I need to, because I realize this isn't right for me. He's not my only option. I can meet someone else and that person might be a better fit for me. So to, make women feel like they just need to be sitting around preparing to be a wife, and then somebody gonna see them one day and automatically know I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with you and I should be happy that I was chosen. No, there's stages. You need to go through that.
That is so funny. I remember I wrote an article a long time ago about choose me, because that is how you kind of, and it was like, it felt like all of my life I was when I was playing in gym and the kickball. I was this little fat, chubby girl with the glasses. Wasn't nobody going to pick me on the team first. I was always the last person. Right. I wasn't going to get picked first. So, it's just like perpetuates that. And then, so when people talk about choosing, I have that when I have that whole mentality of a little girl being chosen last.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the ideal athlete. So then when they talk about, he's going to choose you, and then it's like people not choosing me, I go back to the little girl because I knew I wasn't a good athlete. I couldn't catch a ball, could barely kick a ball, couldn't run fast. I knew I wasn't going to get picked. It was okay. But then, wait for a man to choose me. And it's like, well, I'm there. I know I'm cute. I make money. I'm like, why am I not getting chosen?
Yes.
And then so, God bless you for that. And it's stuff that you got to really, like you said, got to just change your mindset. Because I should be doing the choosing.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I got to wait. Okay, you said, this is a good one. We got to get rid of the belief that there's only one perfect match out there for you.
Yes.
And if you don't get it right, you can miss out on getting married.
Girl.
Talk about it.
Girl. There's so many people that have come to me and be like, I think I missed my future husband. I'm like, why? There's 10 other people, that could be a great partner for you.
Right.
And then they hold themselves hostage to that decision or that mistake and imprison themselves to a life of, singleness forever because I missed out on what God had for me. When the reality is, there are probably, 7 to 10 people who could possibly be a good partner for you. How do I know this? Because at the age of 19, 20, I had a man propose to me. And I was young, but I was in the church. He was too. So we were living by these ideas and beliefs, right? And things didn't work out for a variety of reasons. There was controlling behavior from him. There was just a lot of toxicity. And I remember thinking, but God, you told me he was the one. And I started talking to his mother about some of the things that were happening in the relationship. And she said something that rocked my world. Y'all want to hear it?
Yes, please.
She said, his mama said he's not your only option. I was like, what? What do you mean? She said, no, the man who is able to you and court you, get your heart, needs to be a particular kind of man. And she said, I love you. I'm crazy about you. We always be friends. If you don't choose him, that's okay. He's not your only option.
Not your only option.
And it took me a while to grasp that because I'm like, but I love him. I want him to be my only option. But he was right. He wasn't my only option. Yes. And there's a confidence that comes when you understand you can be selective. That he's not your only option. Then you're not afraid to start over. And there's a certain energy that comes with not being afraid to start over, because a man can tell when you're scared to start over. And they know they can put you through the ringer. She ain't going nowhere. I can disappear and come back. But they also know when you're like, oh, okay, that's how you choosing to be. Goodbye, right? Because you're not my only option. So I want you in that type of confidence and that type of energy, because it sends a different signal to men, and you will attract men who understand it. You are the gift. They need to get it together in order for you to feel comfortable choosing them.
Right. That's so deep. Oh my gosh. I like everything you said. I got like a story, because I thought my high school sweetheart, I just knew that he was the one we were going to get married. I just knew it. But then I decided I wanted to go to law school. So I stayed in Florida, didn't go back home to St. Louis. And then he ended up getting married. And I was like, I missed my chance. And then, girl, guess what? I'm not even practicing law. So I used to think I was like, I used to like being a lawyer. And I was like, I done messed up my like chances of being happily married because I chose law. And then I just got a couple of years ago and I realized, no, it was not that. It was a missed opportunity, but it wasn't the only opportunity that I'm going to have. And then I chose me. And that's okay to choose me and my desires and things that I want.
Yes.
And it's okay to not get married at a young age because you want to choose to do other things. And if that person happens to fall by the wayside, so be it. It's more people out there.
Right.
Who are you speaking to me? Okay, before we go to the next one, you made a statement. You said there's no real, no, that's not the right one. The one that I wanted to talk about, because you said about the dating process. Dating becomes a spiritual and personal growth process. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was good. That was deep. Speak on it.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story of a client who is successfully married. She started out just divorced, single mom of 2, and she started out with maybe 3 dates in 10 years. And so she was like, what's wrong with me, Dr. Aisha? Like, why can't I seem to meet the right people? Serious about relationships. And so I took her through my dating methodology, right? Where the first process is making for the one. And that's where we're going through all these beliefs, all of these old hurts and patterns and clearing that away. And so she discovered that she had this identity of being the good girl, right? Who followed all the rules, did what mom and daddy said, married her high school sweetheart, whole life fell apart. And she was giving her life away, literally every hour spent mentoring people at church, social worker. She was burnt out and felt like taking care of herself was selfish. So before we could even get her online, doing online dating or meeting any people, we had to shift the way she was relating to herself.
Right.
What dating will do, right, is that it's going to reveal to you what you believe about yourself.
Right.
And why you believe you should accept the type of, partners and suitors that you do. So we first did that work. And I'm going to tell you, she got a makeover inside and out. Like, inside she felt confident. On the outside, she said, 2 packs of weed changed her life. But we literally, I set her up with a stylist. She got photos. And her word was this, is she became irresistible to men. Where she literally had her choice of men. Uh-huh. And what she began to see on a spiritual level as well were some of these beliefs in her church and, that she had inherited that just were not serving her anymore. Mm-hmm. So she decided, she actually decided to leave her church eventually. And she found another, but she left that space because it was oppressive, it was controlling. She didn't want that anymore. Mm-hmm. Ended up attracting a man who was a medical doctor. I think he had 2 PhDs, He was running an entire hospital. But more than that, he saw her as a precious woman, wanted to care for her, wanted to take care of her, her emotional needs. And they got married. They got engaged 6 months after they met. And I would say about 18 months later, they, tied the knot. And they've been married for about 5 years now.
Awesome.
But it didn't happen just because she had the desire and the frustration. It happened when she was willing to commit to a process that revealed the marriage and the love that she desired required a different version of who she was. Okay. She had to let go of being a good girl, and she had to step into the grown woman who was clear about who she wanted and what she wanted in life. So that's what that process will do for you when you've got a coach and a mentor to take you through it.
Right. That's so dope. Let me tell you, because we only have a little bit more time. So now I'm finna get personal, y'all. So y'all can just gonna be listening to me because I'm finna get personal. Because I've done that work. And so one of my issues is, and one of the things I do need to change my mindset about believing that there's no good people out there for me. That's one of the mindsets, because I go around looking, I've been on the map, and I'm like, I don't like the way they look. And I'm like a man when it comes to that. I am so shallow. When I was younger, it was because I ain't want no ugly babies. But I ain't gonna have nobody baby, but I'm still, so it really wasn't that. I like a good looking man. I like somebody I'm gonna look at. Like my grandmama used to say, that's easy on the eye. Mm-hmm. And then, but I like intelligent conversation. And it doesn't mean that you have to have degrees. But there's a certain thing about an intelligent conversation that moves me. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a wordsmith. You don't have to, but just to be able to have, and a conversation about the street too. Like I need you kind of hood. I need you to understand what's going on in the street. You can't be like kind of so high-minded that you don't understand the street. Mm-hmm. I don't need a bad boy. Don't get me wrong. I don't need a bad boy, but I need somebody that understands the street. Yeah. I don't like calling it the hood, but it's just a level of understanding. Mm-hmm. And then, just somebody that just is going to adore me. Just, when I see people and they be like, hey, like and then just a smile and a light up, you just make you feel so good. Right. It's just, and I have to change my mindset that there aren't anybody, especially I live in here in LA. Mm-hmm. When I'm in places where bigger girls are more embraced, mm-hmm. but out here, not as much. Right. But then maybe that's in my mindset too. Mm-hmm. Because I'm thinking, out here, everybody got to be skinny, but everybody ain't skinny out here. Okay. Not even the people of, non-Black folk, they ain't skinny. Right. And people get married all the time. Every day. Right. So I know that I have to change that mindset, but am I wrong to only be looking for people that simulate my, my lustful desires as far as
Well, I wouldn't say you were wrong. I would say to you, what I say to my clients is that we have to go a little deeper. Mm-hmm. So most people have a list, right, of certain traits. I teach people to have what I call a perfect partner blueprint. Because if you're trying to build something with a partner, a list is only going to get you to, what's happening on the top. So we got to go a little bit deeper. And this is actually going to help you to locate that person so that you're not so quick to swipe, right? Because now you're going to be curious and not so snap on it. So adopting a mindset of curiosity will allow you to linger a little bit to see if there's something there. And then you can choose afterwards, like, well, no, this doesn't really feel good. The vibe ain't there. Mm-hmm. And then to your second point around, I'm a real woman. I'm a curvy woman. Mm-hmm. I worked with a woman in Pasadena, similar experience. And what we did was positioned her to be found by men who felt like she was the one. And her man was in Texas, but he was a laptop entrepreneur. He could move anywhere. So he came to LA. Okay, you open it up a little bit. You never know.
Right. That's some good stuff. We are out of time. I have enjoyed you so much. I hope everybody have enjoyed this special edition of Blessed on Valentine's Day. I hope that you learned something. And next Valentine's Day, you won't be at home watching the podcast. You're going to be out on a date. And not next Valentine's Day. You're going to do maybe next week, right? It can happen. You just got to change the mindset. Can you please share with the people how to get in touch with you?
Yes, you can find me at blacklovematchmaker.com, and you can drop me a note there and how to give you resources and take you on your next step.
Okay. And one last thing, if there's one important thing to leave with the ladies or even the men that might be listening, one thing that you would,
Yes, I would say that I want you to start to get in a mindset of saying yes more often. Yes to opportunities, yes to dates, yes to meetings, because every time you say yes, your experience shifts and you're closer to what your heart's desire. So stop blocking it. Start saying yes, because yes is going to lead you to love.
All right. I love that. We leaving out. It's like, yes will lead you to love. Until next week, everybody, be blessed and say yes. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.